This and all talks at the 2019 JavaScript for WordPress Conference are brought to you in part by our sponsors Pantheon, a high-performance hosting platform with agile developer tools. Check them out at pantheon.io. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are getting live here with the second half of the day of the JavaScript for WordPress conference. I am super excited to have not just a super cool and smart, intelligent person, but someone who has become a good friend of mine and a guide to Costa Rica and the community down there. Alfredo Navas, who I know and many of you know as Alpua, simply has been banging on Gatsby for a while now. Like came out and he was like, "Hey man, you doing anything with Gatsby, man? This is a lot of fun." So I am so excited for him. It's Pura Vida all the way to be coming on and sharing with us, because he's been using this tool for a while now, production in and out with WordPress and other stuff. So you're going to get a really good introduction. You've heard a lot today about the Jamstack and Gatsby, and now we're finally going to start getting into it in depth and a little bit. So without further ado, Alfredo, man, come up here on the screen and say hi.
Hello, everybody. How are you? My good friend Zach make a nice introduction. I'm a developer from Costa Rica. I work for an agency in New York named WonderSauce. I'm also an organizer of the WordPress community here in Costa Rica. I made a bunch of WordCamps, meetups. I'm a volunteer, a speaker. I've been in a lot of camps around Latin America and some in the United States. When I have the chance to meet a bunch of people, great people. This is what I did. I promote open source technologies as a tool for success. I am an example of that. And I recently started building websites with Gatsby. I've been using WordPress for the last 10, 12 years. And last year, probably, I started discovering Gatsby and all this Jamstack, headless CMS ecosystem that it's now. And let me just share my screen. Okay, I'm going to talk about the headless WordPress and Gatsby JS. But before we get into that, let's get and try to understand a little bit what is all this about. Like what is a Jamstack, what is a site generator, what is Gatsby, why use Gatsby, why is a headless CMS, and all of that. We've been here wonderful talks in the morning. And I just want to recap about what is all this new technology or this new ecosystem that we're using now. So let's take a look to the stack, all right? Okay, first of all, we have the Jamstack. It was a term coined by one of the founders of Netlify. And basically what it is a specific technology. Like we have JavaScript, we have our API, and we have our markup. So any dynamic programming that is going to be done within the request response cycle is going to be handled by JavaScript, and it's going to be running entirely on the client side. That's what JavaScript is going to do. And then we have the APIs. It's going to do all the server-side process. Our database is going to be abstracted into reusable APIs. It's going to be accessed by HTTPS with JavaScript. We have right now a bunch of examples. We have Contentful, it's very nice. We have Dato CMS, and we have Prat CMS. And obviously, we have WordPress. Really? Well, yeah, WordPress is also a headless CMS. And it's going to help us on the markup. On the APIs, I'm sorry. We are going to extract the data using the RESTful API from WordPress, and I'm going to pass it to our markup. And who is going to handle our markup? It's going to be handled by Gatsby. It's going to grab all these requests, all these actions, and it's going to turn it into a static site that we can deliver it on a CDN or whatever we want. This is for what Jamstack stands for. I think we are cool so far. Then we have our static site generators. What is that? Is this something new? I think static site generators are being outside for a while. And plain and simple, what it does is generates and takes the source files and generates an entirely static website. It's only HTML, images, and JavaScript. That's it. You can recall like some of us are been doing website for a while. And when we first, at least when I first started to building website, all my websites were static ones. There is no database, nothing like that. So yeah, right now there are many static site generators for all purposes. I'm sure like every major programming language right now has a static site generator for them. We have obviously Gatsby. We take Next. I think it's like the counterpart of Next, but made with Vue. And Jekyll. I think Jekyll is one of the boys who has been outside for a while. I think the first time I get recalled that name, a static site generator, was with Gatsby. Sorry, with Jekyll. Yeah. Okay. So let's take, for example, a WordPress. WordPress, what it does is when you open, for example, a page, it goes to our server or to the server, bring it back to the user. That usually takes 3 seconds, 3 milliseconds, and if your website has a lot of images, it could take longer than that. So a static site generator does everything, all those requests are being done before build. So then what we only got is just the static files. We have HTML because all those requests, I hopefully make sense right now. All those requests are already being done and are stored in your build. So when you deploy your website, there is no call to the server. Everything renders on the client. So you can even use a CDN to put all your files. It's all static. What is the advantage of this? The caching gets much easier, performance goes up, and by far static sites are much more secure than the other stacks that we have. Okay, so yeah, here we have all the kids of the neighborhood. We have Gatsby, we have Jekyll, we have Next. I'm not sure if we can consider Next as a static site generator, but on version 3, I'm sure that they can generate static files now. Okay, and now let's see what a headless CMS is. Let's understand what it's all about. A headless CMS, it's a website without a header. You know, it doesn't make sense. What is that? So basically what it does is like all the data that is going on your website is going to be handled by a backend CMS. Is when you got your WordPress website and you're going to edit a page, you're logging into the admin and you type everything, click publish, and by magic, everything is showing on the front end. So a headless CMS is, we don't have to worry about the front. We just only we have to focus only on the data. That's all we need to do. People, bloggers, writers, they only need to type and they don't have to worry about how it's going to show. And obviously, one of the good things is like WordPress has built in a RESTful API. So we can easily get all the information to a HTTP request and add it on the front end. We can use React, we can use Angular, we can use Vue. There is a bunch of ways to even, I think you can even use jQuery and put all that into a HTML page. So the good thing of using WordPress as as a headless CMS is like most of the users are very familiar with how the backend of WordPress behave. It's very simple. I believe it's been for years until now that they changed the Gutenberg. So other good thing is like we don't have to worry about Gutenberg or the classic editor. We don't care because all the information is the only thing we need to care about. Okay, so let's recap now. I hope we have a better understanding of our stack. We know that we can choose a variety of static site generators. In this case, I'm going to show you how to use Gatsby. We learned that we can use WordPress as a headless CMS. Why? Because from so many reasons, one of the important ones is like it has a RESTful API built in. All right, so what and why is Gatsby? I've been hear about Gatsby like a while ago, probably before version 2. I was getting into React and I was feeling a little frustrated, understanding how. I actually remember looking for how to make a React WordPress app. And it was kind of frustrating because I have no programming background. I am a designer. I was turned developer a few years ago, thanks to WordPress. But still, I didn't get a good understanding of how React works, like fetching, like what is Redux. It was like a nightmare to me and trying to understand everything. And on the other hand, every time I see or I was looking for an example or a tutorial, when I download and I try to run npm install, most of the times they break and I don't know why. So I choose Gatsby because it's very easy to get into React, understand how it works, and we don't have to worry about how the Webpack configuration goes because it's done by Gatsby on the fly. Most of you probably like to do it by your own, but for me, it's very easy because I only have to worry about building the stuff. I don't have to worry if Webpack breaks, it has a new version, I don't have this package. All this is handled by Gatsby. The only thing you need to do is Gatsby develop and start building amazing stuff. This is for me what Gatsby is. So again, we can just review. Gatsby was built with performance in mind. It's based on all the Contract, Webpack, EX6, Babel, you name it. It's fun to use and easy to learn, at least in my case. I found like they have a great community. The documentation is great. It's very easy and understandable, if that word exists, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is for me like the best things, like why I choose Gatsby or why I was attracted. Here we can see like we have our WordPress, Gatsby pull all the data, then we send it to React, and then in this case we send it to Netlify. And with these 4 simple steps, we will start building like awesome things. Like we can use the styled components. We can use any React package or component we want. It's very easy to install and to use. So here we are going to see the basics. This is some of the basic, what the steps we need to do to build a Gatsby website using a headless CMS like WordPress. We have to install is the Gatsby CLI. You can follow along. I already installed it, so there is no point for me. Then once you install it, you will type, you are going to your directory and just simply type Gatsby new, and you can name as you want, or even you can pull a starter theme that they already have. And once you do that, let's Let's take a look over here. Once you do that, you can just go and type Gatsby develop, and what it does is going to run a local server that you can access on localhost. Let me see if I got it running. Okay, let's go to Gatsby develop. It's going to run. It's loading. This is very simple. It's fetching some of the posts, some of my pages. And here, like, we can just see here on localhost. Let's check it out. This is very simple. Now we have our website here. This is just the basic stuff. Let me just go here. This is the website. This is, now we have all the beauty of Gatsby. And then we will see that Gatsby it will install all these files. We have the source with all our data lakes. We have our component, our images, our pages, and we have these files. We have Gatsby browser, Gatsby node, Gatsby SSR, that it stands for server-side rendering, and Gatsby config. Gatsby config is the first step of our recipe. Here it lays all the data, all the plugins, and even your themes are going to be stored here. So we just go here. Then we are going to install this plugin. It's Gatsby WordPress. It was made by the community. So it's going, using this plugin, it's going to be really simple connecting our front end with our back end. And as we can see here, we have some options. This is the very basic ones. We have our base URL. This is the URL of our WordPress installation. We have the protocol. Here I tell the routes I want to include. Like here I want to see my pages, my posts, my tags, my categories. You can use advanced custom fields if you want. But in this case, I am not using. So let's see, the Gatsby config is the configuration option. All the site metadata, all the plugins, and the mapping, and everything is going to be laid here in this file. So we can just save it. Then we have this other file, Gatsby browser, that we are not going to use it. But as my understanding, this is one of the life cycle of Gatsby. This is when you want to track routes or even animations or everything that will occur after the static site was loaded. It can be hooked in this file. Yeah, this is going to be the API that we are going to use. Then we have this other file, which is very important. It's the Gatsby server-side render. When you think about server-side render, you think of a server that takes a request and dynamically build the pages and send it back to the client. Gatsby doesn't do that. Gatsby grab all the info, make the build, and display it on the client side. That's why they have this file. So naturally, the Gatsby server-side render file will allow developers to hook into the life cycle. In my experience, most use cases are around injecting CSS, maybe HTML, some Redux state, third-party scripts like the analytics, or if you want to put the Facebook pixel, you will choose to do it here. As my understanding, I could be wrong. And finally, we have Gatsby Node. So Gatsby Node is when they run, as it says, like the development process or build. So here they have several options. One of the options we are going to use is the create pages. But first, let's check how our website is looking. Like we see that we have it here, our local host. We have it running, it's okay. And as we remember on our Gatsby config, I add my website here. So let's check if actually do something. Gatsby has this Explorer. Like for example, here is how you can see or where if your data it's being fetched. So for example, as we can see, we have the WordPress AFC options that we are not using. We have all our WordPress categories. We have all our WordPress page, and we have all our WordPress posts. So let's see. This is going to be very helpful for us because if we will have to build some static queries, so we can send all this information that we are getting from GraphQL into actually our templates and hydrate our components. So here we can really easy see how we can build our queries. For example, if we go here in category, I have found that we always need to choose age. I'm still digging about what would be the best use, because sometimes you can just go straight to notes. So then we have our taxonomy. I think we are looking into the all WordPress category. And it doesn't seem, I think we have to add here the ID. Okay, this is our categories, and we can also go to our pages. We can see, okay, fine, this is all my pages, yeah, support, maintenance, yeah. Let's see our post, and yeah, we have all our posts. Let's go edges, let's go notes, let's go author, let's pick author, let's pick ID, let's pick the temp title, and let's see if we have an excerpt. We have an excerpt here. So if we click play, we can see all the data has been fetched. We have our author, the number one, who probably it's me. And we have here all the title, we have all the excerpt of our post, so great. We managed to add all the data from our WordPress website into this new installation, into this front end. Here then is how we are going to create our template pages. I'm not going into that because I think on the second part you're going to start building more nice stuff. But one thing we have to remember is like Gatsby Node needs always to return a promise or a callback. So here I'm getting this from Maeda Batol. She is a developer from Pakistan, I believe. And I was follow one of their tutorials, and she was explaining this. On my other one, I use a promise, but here she's like using a sync. So we are using this option, create pages. We can easily go to our Gatsby documentation. That is awesome. So we can go to the docs, we can go to the Gatsby API. I always tell the people, like, use the documentation, just go there to know how things work. And we can see, like, we are using this option, create pages. And easily we can just copy this and start using it for us. So here we have a sync, we have the await where the GraphQL bring everything. As we can see, if going to send it to this path, templates, posts, JS. And here it's going to map, or it's going to do in a for each. And it's going to turn every post into a page for us. And I can show you here. Let's go to Netlify. Let me just show you how it's working. I'm using Netlify, it's awesome. Let me just log in. I have some website here. Let's go and see this one. And if we go to post, this is actually live. And we can see that we have all our posts. And if I click on one link, it's going to open the page, and it's going to bring all this content that it's on my WordPress. The images, everything, and all this is straight from my website, and we can see it here. What a handsome dude. As you can see, this is the same content. We have the WordPress in Docker, is the same, and I'm getting it here. So what could be a really nice thing to test about Gatsby? It's like, let's see one of the advantages of using Gatsby. And one of the things that I love the most is this. Every one of us has been struggling trying to make our website faster. And this is something I love it. Let's take the same page. This is my blog page, and this is my blog page. So let's go first with this one. We can go here. Let's run it and see what it says about the stats of my website. Let's wait. Ta-da-da. Okay, it's a 60. Well, that's bad. Well, I have a 93 on desktop. So now let's see what Gatsby gave us out of the box. Okay, delete. Let's analyze this one and see how is the performance. I have to admit that on my WordPress website, I have a little work like to make it optimized, and as you can see, it's not near close of this. Watch it. It has nothing. It's out of the box. I really don't do anything. So this is one of the good things about Gatsby. We don't have to worry about page load, and faster load means better ranking, and better ranking means more sales, or in this case, like everybody can navigate our website and it's going to navigate fast, easy, with no issues at all. This is one of the wonderful things that Gatsby has. So now that we already see what we can build with Gatsby, this is very simple. Let me just show you another one. I think it's this one. Don't do it. I have created, this is the one I told you earlier. This is our template page. This is our post. And this is our Gatsby node. This is the queries I made. In this case, I'm using a promise. I'm using Bluebird. It's a library. And as you can see, what I did is I query all the data here. And once the data is ready, I send it to this page, or this is when my template lays. I send it here. And I am not into live coding because I know like always something is going to happen. So I just want to show you this, and then you can do this on your house. And then we are going to see what the post website has. And as you can see, we have We have the data, we have it in the props, and then we come and we call it, we map all the posts, and from each of them, we are getting our feature media, we are getting our title, and we are getting our excerpt. So it's very simple. All this is on every tutorial. This is like the basic steps. I just wanted to show you all the steps you did and get a better understanding of what a static site generator means, what a headless WordPress means, why I choose Gatsby from the other bunch of static site generators like that they are outside. This is more a personal choice, but I think it's a really good framework, makes the learning curve of React very easy, and you can tell everybody that you are working with the latest technologies. And yes, basically this is my intro. I think we cover pretty much everything. We already installed the CLI. I hope you can do it in your home. We create a new blog. We check the blog. We install our source WordPress. We update under Gatsby config. We develop again, and we can start looking from our queries or start building our queries here in localhost. I don't know if anyone have any question.
Yeah, we did have a few questions. First of all, thank you so much for that talk. So grateful for you to break it down and begin showing people and the configurations. This is perfect and great job. We had a few questions come in and a discussion here. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry if my English was so bad or if I rush on my presentation. But yeah, let's see.
Anybody who speaks more than one language or who would have to give a talk in another language, it is not easy. So thank you for doing that. We need to have JS4W PConf in Espanol. Like, I feel like half of our presenters speak Spanish. So, okay, so some questions for you, my friend. From Scott here. I'm mostly concerned with moving forms from WP plugins to something else. Having to tell clients to manage forms somewhere else from WP when that is what they are used to is hard. Also, having to code forms takes a lot more time, work, configuration than using something like Ninja Forms. Any recommendations for form workflows?
Okay, what I've been using with forms so far is Netlify has out-of-the-box form support, and it's free. So in my case, every time I did in the use of a form, I was using the Netlify form. So I can just simply build, I don't even have to worry about the states of my inputs, because you can just simply add Netlify on your form action and it will do it for you. I hope with this new ecosystem, like more plugins like Gravity Forms, like Ninja Forms, all these famous plugins, start working on a way to pull all that data into a front end as Gatsby or someone like that.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, definitely a good question and something to chat more about, yeah. Okay, so next question from Seb here. What happens with plugins like Yoast when you use WordPress with Gatsby?
So far, I think it gets lost because Yoast works on the WordPress side. So unless they have some way to pull the data from the REST API, I think it's not doable. But you can use the React helmet to store all your data there. There is like a small plugin in Gatsby that helps you out with all this SEO stuff. Like you can put all your Facebook and your, I'm not a much as SEO guy, but I've been using that helmet plugin that you can add to your Gatsby website.
Great answer. And I know Yoast does have an API, so it may be possible to pull in data, but yeah, you'll probably then end up plugging it into Helmet or something like that.
Exactly. Yes, awesome. Yes.
Okay, we have another question here from Marjorie. Was wondering that too, how are updates in WordPress core handled? So how does updating WordPress affect your Gatsby development?
It doesn't affect at all. They are two completely separate things. The only attach that you have between Gatsby and WordPress is the RESTful API. So as long as any update you make doesn't break your REST API or like more other things, like there is my friend Jason Ball, he makes like a WordPress GraphQL plugin. So if you are using that one and if any update happens and breaks that, it could affect your Gatsby website. But so far, I don't think uploads, it's going to affect in any way your front end. It's two completely things. There is my Twitter again, my Facebook account, my GitHub account. Feel free to reach me if you have any doubts. I'm not an expert, but I will do the best to help you out with all your questions.
Awesome. Well, we've got even more questions for you, by the way. I've got even more I'm going to keep asking. Thank you so much, folks, for posting these questions. Please keep them coming if you have questions. So, okay, sorry, let me get you on screen. How to convince a small business to go for a custom-coded website rather than a ready, easy-to-install and manage theme?
Well, I think speed, again, is one of the best thing you can tell your boss or any company is like, and as I can show you, you can see notice the difference. So I think speed is a very good, how we can call it, like a very good aspect to take care or think about it. Security, it's basically, there is no way somebody can hack your website. It's so static. There is no database connection. So security, speed, and obviously what everybody says, like the developer experience is much nicer, you know. And yeah, those for me will be the three pillars of why you will choose to make a static site generator over a website in WordPress. But anyways, it also depends on what are your goals. At first, you need to see, okay, what I want and why I want it, because not all your web apps or your website are in need of Gatsby. They probably are good the way they are in WordPress. I'm sorry, I can hear you, Zach.
Oopsie, sorry about that. I said great answer. I think that was really inclusive and a good point to remember, right? We're not talking about porting every single site to Gatsby, but for ones that work well. Okay, another question here. Does Gatsby have any third-party scripts like Google Analytics or something like that? Maybe you can mention Netlify Analytics. They have a new product as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, again, there is a huge community that built a lot of plugins. You have Google Docs, you have Analytics, you have Pixels. There is a bunch of the stuff that you can just plug into your Gatsby installation and start using it. As Zach mentioned, the new Netlify Analytics is really a huge thing. I'm really excited to start trying it, you know. But yes.
Awesome, perfect. Well, that answers that. Tamapaj, I hope that helps. Let's see, we've got another one here. Is there anyone here, or have you used GraphQL with ACF, with advanced custom fields?
Well, not me, but soon you will see how it works. But yes, even on the Gatsby website, they tell you. Let's see if I can show you really quick. I don't know if I am sharing my screen still. No.
Not at the moment, but you can click to share it again from within GraphQL.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second, because there is like a nice thing. Again, the documentation in Gatsby is awesome. That's one stuff. But if you click on, let me just share again. Okay, here we are. Again, let's share. Okay, let's share. You can go to the Gatsby store WordPress, and they can tell you. You can see all the stuff you can use, and they even recommend you the plugins you can use. As you can see, you have the WAPM menus. We have ACF here. There is this plugin, ACF to REST API. So yes, you can use, and here, see, we were talking about JAWS. They have this WAP JAWS meta. So yes, we can use ACF on Gatsby.
Love it. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Let's bring it up. We got Matic with another question here. How hard do you think it is to use Gatsby with WooCommerce and checkout? Great question. I'm curious about your answer.
I'm really waiting for that. I'm really waiting for that. And once we can use WooCommerce and Gatsby. I haven't seen any real life project with Gatsby and WooCommerce, but definitely once I see that, I will be the first one to use it. That's for sure. That's for sure, yes.
You and me both. I could talk about this so long. I love this topic. Matic, I hope that helps a little bit answer your question. Yeah. Okay, and last question here. What do you think the WordPress CMS aspect of the headless site into production? Do you allow it to be accessible to the public? I use Pantheon, and it automatically creates dev, test, and live URLs. What's the best way to handle this?
Okay, well, the way I did it is I have my WordPress installation in one hosting, and I have my Gatsby installation on Netlify, usually on Netlify. So there is no way people without a link is going to know where your WordPress installation is because everything is under the hood. Remember, Gatsby builds everything before. So when you deploy your website, all this information is hidden. There is no way anybody can see or know where your WordPress installation is.
So you think lock it down, or do you think still have it hosted live somewhere?
I think I hosted live somewhere. Well, you can do both stuff. Like the only thing is you will need like a plugin to hook these webhooks from Netlify. So anytime, because Netlify have this awesome stuff. You got your Gatsby installation, you put it in your GitHub repo, and from there you can just make the build. Netlify does for you. So if you have a plugin, you can run any update you have on your website. Once somebody create a page or make a post, it's going to send that hook to Netlify. It's going to make a build again. But if you don't want to do that, you can easily have your WordPress website in your local computer, build the website with Gatsby, and just use Gatsby. You can use both.
Awesome. Okay, I think we've got time here for one more question, although it looks like, oh my gosh, we got three more. Yeah, we got time. Okay. I have a question regarding using Gatsby WordPress source plugin. When I run Gatsby Develop, it takes quite a long time, and I only have one post and one page with a single ACF field. Anything about those things for our friend Luke here?
When I run Gatsby build, sometimes it takes a lot to load, and it could be something on your files that is not good, because or if your website is too big. Remember, Gatsby is building every page from every of your posts. So there could be a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I've been running a couple of times, like my WordPress doesn't want to load. And when I check, it's probably because we are calling tags or categories that doesn't exist. So that could cause an error because when it's building, it's keep calling, but it doesn't exist. So you have to check that. Sometimes just creating one tag on your WordPress website can help you out. Or you just have to look in your query and see what you are calling. That could be that. I'm not sure.
That's many things. Advice. I hope that helps, Luke. Let's go on to the next one. Are there any large professional sites using Gatsby? And Julian did also link to Gatsby, the showcase officially. But what do you think? Are there some big professional sites using Gatsby?
Well, I see that one. Yeah, the Gatsby on their website has a really nice showcase of sites. I have just two websites in production, and they don't use the WordPress as fully. I'm still waiting for a client to come and say, okay, do whatever you want, I trust you. But so far, it's new technology, and again, you have to convince the client to use it. Shaq, again.
All right, last question. Sorry, I was on mute. We got one last one. Sorry. Thank you, everybody, for posting these great questions. Let's ask this. Not sure if you've mentioned it, but do you have separate code bases for your WordPress Steamer plugin and for Gatsby? And then also separate Git repos for each one, from Tom.
Usually, yes. Usually I have my Gatsby project on one side and my WordPress project on another one. And when I use WordPress as a headless CMS, I really don't worry about anything, just the content. So sometimes it's even running on a server, and I just worry about working with Gatsby.
Pulis Alfredo, thank you again so much, folks. Please follow him. Check out the stuff that he's doing. Come down to WordCamp Costa Rica this year. We're all going to be hanging out, having a good time. So.
I'm going to give the same chat on WordCamp Mexico, August 31. If somebody want to be there, I'm going to be there. And we have the WordCamp San Jose, Costa Rica, September 7th, if I am not wrong. I know good friends are going to be here, so you are all welcome.
Yes, sir. Okay, great. Well, we look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you again, my friend.